Good morning and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim and this is my podcast about knitting and spinning and dyeing yarn and talking about my grandchildren and a little bit about Christmas and yeah, all the stuff that makes up my life. Anyways, I do most of this from my house right outside of Lima, Ohio, where I live with my hubby, Randy, my dear puppy, Ginger, which you might hear bark, I don't know, and my little kitty cat, Purdy. Anyways, today is December 26th, and for those of you who observe it, this is Boxing Day. Um, and I hope that all of you who observe Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful, merry, joyful, happy, blessed Christmas. You know, I had a very, very quiet Christmas, and it brought me down a little bit yesterday. But when I went to church on Sunday, I'd been feeling this way for a couple weeks. And when I went to church on Sunday, the message was about a light in the darkness. And I just thought, how appropriate. And that's what helped me have a happy Christmas. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is actually episode 147, and I'm going to call it Happy Boxing Day. Okay, where can you find me online? Well, I'm on Ravelry as Napier's Knits, then we have a podcast group called Naturally Kim's Knitting. I have an Etsy store, which is called Napier's Knits. Instagram, I'm knittin_Kim, so KNITTIN_KIM. Then YouTube, Blogger, and WordPress, I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting. Whew! Okay, let's see. Well, might as well just get right along with things, huh? We have some knit-alongs, which is one of the reasons to join our podcast group, besides a bunch of great people that are part of it. And we have a couple knit-alongs that are going to be ending on the 31st. I will close the threads on January 1st. And one of them is the finished object knit-along for December. I do a different knit-along for this every month. I start a new page for it. Helps me to keep organized because I didn't used to do that. And all you have to do is, besides be a member of Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group, take a picture of your item, put it in the thread, put the pattern name, and you will be entered for the drawing at the end of the month. Then I also have a Knitting for Others that we've had November and December, and it also ends December 31st, and it pretty much talks about itself. It doesn't have to be knitting. I don't know why. I guess it's because I knit primarily. But you're knitting for others if you're making something, a finished object that you're knitting for someone else. Go ahead and take a picture and put it under the finished object thread along with the pattern name. And if you want to share who you're giving it to, that would be wonderful. And yes, you can put it in both objects or both threads if you want to. In fact, we have a third knit along, and it's called Mila's Knit Corner is the name of the place where we're getting this Wonder Shawl pattern from. And mine's sitting over there because I haven't worked on it for a little while because I've been going into sock mania. Anyways, it's going to end the end of January 2019. It is actually plenty of time to get this finished. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you're only knitting on one or two things, it's very easy to get it finished by the end of January. It's going to, like I said, we're doing the Wonder Shawl under Mila's Knit Corner, and I'm not sure if the discount code still works or not, but when you check out, put KIM in the discount or coupon code area, and it used to give a discount. I'm hoping it still does, but I really don't know for sure. Mila has been generous enough to offer one of her patterns for free to the first person whose number I draw. So, I need to get those in there. I hope you heard that. Sorry. I never know with whispering if you can hear it or not. I feel like I'm jerking around here, and I don't mean to. If you have any ideas for craft-alongs, knit-alongs, things like that, go ahead and put it there. I have a thread actually for this. Just, no, I don't. Um, I'm sorry, my brother just texted me. Um, and we don't have a thread for that, but we do have, you can put it underneath the show notes. I'm sorry, my brother distracted me. Love you, Rick. Okay, let's see, what is on my needles? Well, I'm going to be picking up the Afghan soon because I've decided I'm going back to working a pair of socks for someone else, a pair of socks for the soup kitchen, and possibly a pair of socks for myself because my socks are starting to wear out. Um, but I will be getting back into the Afghan, I sure hope, and the shawl. Now you may say, well, what about your granddaughter's sweater? You know how at the end of my podcast I say, if you make any mistakes, I hope they're little ones and easy to correct. Dyeing yarn, it's not always easy to correct it because her yarn was a merino nylon yarn, and I did it in the blue Kool-Aid. I can't remember what it's called. Well, yesterday on my quiet Christmas, I decided, you know what, I had some more merino nylon, so I thought, I'm going to go ahead and dye this. And even if I have leftover, I can use it for something else. So I got out my blue packets of Kool-Aid. And some of you might know where this is going. Some of the blue packets are blue, and some of them have a red Kool-Aid in them. I wasn't paying attention. I put them both in, and I got a lovely purple roving. It won't go with the light blue at all, though. So I told my husband, you'll have to let me know when I can get some more roving, and I will dye it the correct color. So if Genevieve is watching, I am sorry, sweetheart. I am coming back to it. I was hoping that I'd be able to spin up that roving and do it real quickly. Well, I'll be able to spin it up, but it will not be able to go into the sweater. I'm sorry. I would show it to you, but right now it's drying. So, oh, I could not believe I did that. Ugh. Anyways, so that is waiting for a little bit before I start it back up again. However, I'll show you what I finished first of all, because I finished a chemo cap. It is still going to count for this year. It probably won't get mailed till next year, but I like this. This is a bulky weight. This is one of the yarns that I was given by my lovely, lovely cousin, well, my lovely, lovely cousin through my brother, Rick. So this is it makes a nice, soft hat. I think they're going to like it. If they like the color, I like that color. It's almost like a turquoise blue color. Anyways, so I did that. Then, I know, I should be making chemo caps. Well, my husband loves sheep and all things sheep related. And so I had some of this Shetland wool from Woolbothy in the Shetland Isles, and I decided to knit him up his own hat. So you can see I got a nice little start on it. And this is 2 different shades of Woolbothy Shetland that I just blended or spun together. And he's going to have a nice wool hat. I dropped something. Just a moment. Sorry about that. It was one of the things I want to show you. So, I've got 3 socks that I've been working on right now. This one is a plain purple sock, and it's for a family member. But, like I said, they're not going to get it for Christmas. From this point on, I'll either hold them for next Christmas. Sorry, I had a couple stitches try to escape. Or, we'll send them as I get them done. Haven't decided. But this is that plain purple. It's a variegated purple. I got this from Woolbothy's too. And so I just decided, I wasn't sure how it was going to work out. So I just decided to knit it, plain vanilla stitch, except for the heel where I put my ribbing, so that hopefully it will give them a better grip on this. So yeah, I worked on these in church on Sunday, and then when I went to Christmas Eve service, I was feeling my hands were actually shaking. And so I know the one thing that will help me with my hands hurting and everything is to knit. So I just pulled that. I took it along and I pulled it out, and I was knitting down by my legs during the service, just so it could help my hands out. I don't think anybody noticed. There were too many cute kids, and the kids' choir sang this weekend, and we had the adult choir sing this weekend, and it was a joyful time. Now, see if I could do something without knocking everything down, because you know how that is. When you don't want to knock, well, you never really want to knock things down. But, okay, this one, this is my own pattern, but I really don't have a name for it. I really haven't worked on it much since last week. I've been busy with other ones. And I don't even know if you'll be able to see the pattern. But, see if that'll clear up. It's kind of an arrow. It's a gentle arrow going down. And I don't know if you can really see it on this, but I don't know what to call it. I know you can't really see it very clearly, but if you have any ideas, and I'm doing it just along the sides, just along the edges of the sock. So there's one and there's one. Then I think there's like 16 stitches in between. My pattern's over there. I can't remember. It's 12 or 16. Well, it also depends on the size foot you have. If you come up with a name, let me know. If I get more than one, I may send them off to my daughter and granddaughter and say, hey, help me out here. They usually name my yarns for me. So that's number 2 sock. Then number 3 sock, I'm calling the straight and narrow. And this is for a friend. I don't know if they watch my podcast, but that's okay. I don't care. She's still getting these socks. So, I don't want to give it away. I want her to be surprised. So you see that there's that straight strip right down there. That's your straight and narrow road or path. And on each side of the straight and narrow path, I have what I've decided are about as close as I'm going to get to like trees and bushes and things like that that you see along the road. I love this sock. It, like I said, it's going to be called the straight and narrow. When I get it finished, I am going to put it up. Actually, I will not release it until the Thursday after I record my podcast, and we'll make it free for a few days. That way I can announce it to all you lovely, lovely people. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot something else that's on my needle. So, my husband's grandniece, I guess it's my grandniece too, she was just born this past year. And my husband knows that I like knitting for little ones, but I have been so swamped with knitting for other people. Well, he had told my dear brother and sister-in-law that, oh, Kim will make Claire something. I got a little panicked. But then I found this pattern, and I decided to use some of my yarn. And I'm making, this is in black and white because my dear husband, I had it downloaded on Knitting Companion, but if my tablet dies, I like to have it printed up. And this is called the Marion Dress. And this little girl is only, I should tell you who it's by. It's by, Taiga, T-A-I-G-A, Hillard Designs. And you use fingering weight yarn. And I thought, well, what should I use? What should I use? So I went over and I pulled out some of my variegated Wildflower Field got all those brilliant colors in it, just like a wildflower field does. Well, something else I'm loving knitting. You know, I've knitted long enough that if I don't enjoy knitting something, why do it? So, let's see, this is top down, and there will be buttons. I do have buttons, and I'll show those to you in a minute. Look at that. Even with this variegated, I wasn't sure if, because this is a kind of wild variegated, I wasn't sure if the pattern would show through, but it does. And down here, we're flaring it a little bit more by putting more purl stitches between each pattern. You can't see that from there. It's beautiful. And it buttons right over here at the edge. Okay? Don't have the button band done yet. So I sent my husband to Hobby Lobby. Because I knew he didn't want me to go, especially since I'm supposed to be on this yarn fast. And I'll tell you, it's supposed to be in a moment. Why in a moment? He goes, I don't know what to get. What should I get? I said, get cute buttons. Something that will go with a wildflower field. He found frogs. Look at that, green frogs and yellow frogs. I said, I love it. I love it. So that's the Marion dress. And that's for my and my husband's grandniece. And I've decided every evening I'm going to only knit socks for so long a day, and then I have to go to something else. And so that's my something else right now. Now, you notice that I said supposed to be on this yarn fast. Well, I had asked somebody if she or her husband and her husband have favorite colors. She picked colors colorways I don't have in my stash. So, I don't think they're watching. I know my brother watches. Don't give it away. You'll know who it's for. Don't give it away. Well, she told me that her husband, his favorite colors are John Deere, green and yellow. Ta-da! It's going to be a pair of socks for him. And this came from Frankly with 2 Y's on the end. And I got it from her Etsy store. It was so funny because I went searching and I put down John Deere fingering weight in the Etsy search bar. This is the only skein that came up, and I love it. It's called Looks Like a Deer to Me, D-E-E-R-E, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight, 450 yards, 3-ply. And I think I'll be making the toes and the heels out of a contrasting color. I kind of think I know what it'll be. Yeah. So when I finish up one of my socks, I will probably be putting either this one or the next one on. Because she told me, oh, I'm not going to remember, teal, purple, and black, I kind of think. So I, once again, did a search. And Hypothesis Yarns, hand-dyed in Newfoundland, which I got it an amazingly good time. Look at that. I think it's just going to be a plain pattern. I haven't looked to see how the deer knits up yet. But I think this is going to be a plain sock because with all the colors in it, I don't know how it will work up. But this is an 80-20 merino, superwash merino nylon, fingering weight 426 yards. And it's called Spectral Alphabet. Like I said, it comes from Hypothesis Yarns. Sorry, my hand is still shaking somewhat. That's why I have to hold things with 2 hands. So, yes, I got a stash enhancement. But my husband agreed, since it's for a gift, it comes out of our budget. Not my yarn budget. I'm drinking cardamom cinnamon tea. Then, Christmas morning, well, actually, last Friday, we decided we were going to Skype with my grandkids and my daughter and her hubby. and mainly because schedules were going to be so crazy. So we decided we would Skype, and we shop Amazon because it's the easiest way to get the shipments there. Although I also shopped Hearthsong and UNICEF this year. But we got everything there. They got them within, I think, a week of ordering everything. They got them. And they sent ours, and we got their gifts to us. I think it was Thursday morning. Anyways, those were great. I'm not going to share everything with you, but there was a separate little box that my granddaughter wrapped herself. I should have taken a picture of it. I'm sorry. But she always, well, I shouldn't say granddaughter, grandchildren. My granddaughter wrapped it. But they always make the cutest things. And this was made by my grandson, Tobias, a little snowman. Isn't that beautiful? He's 2 years old. And look at that. He does such a good job. He puts all the things on there just, where like they should be. That's his snowman. Then Genevieve. Oh, I didn't notice. We have purple and pink. That was the one Genevieve made. Oh, then I have a little crafter in the making. Now, she's 5, so I can't even imagine her holding a needle, but Mommy cross stitches. So Genevieve did her own stitching. Isn't that cool? I love it. I'm a proud grandmother. I'm going to love things even when nobody sees the beauty in it. I see the beauty in it because I also cross stitch at times when my hands are steady. So I'm just so tickled pink. I tell you, the handmade gifts mean more to me than anything else in the world. They did get me a book of soap making with ready to melt, the glycerin soap, and so that Genevieve and I can make soap together. Next time I go out there, she and I are also going to do Kool-Aid dyeing. I told her we would do that. So, okay, now I have a little, I got behind mainly because of the mood. I don't know what's what anymore because I had them all in their papers and they all fell out. But I will show you from the Yarn Lab UK. These were the, sorry, I dropped one. I probably knocked the camera too. The last 6 mini skeins from their, what was it called? Well, it's just their 2018 Advent calendar. Now, I can tell you the names of them. I don't know if I could pick them out. We had Wood Nymph. I can show these all to you while I'm reading them. Wood Nymph. Then we have Tooth Flossing String Mints. Okay. Hogsmeade Village. 12 Grimald Place. The Mirror of Erised. And Hermione and Victor. So yes, I've got a plan. I don't know if I showed you last week. See if I can bring it up because there is I'll bring it up on Knitting Companion if I possibly can. There's an Afghan that many people seem to be making from mini skeins, and I'm going to too. I think it's beautiful. If I can get it open, there we go. It's thinking about it. Oops, wrong way. See if I can get it to turn. Come on. It usually does, but then it has to reload, which only takes a couple seconds. Now, I haven't started mine yet, but this is called the Northeasterly Afghan by Skenanigans, Melissa Alexander Loomis. and I'm going to be starting mine. Look at that. So yes, I saw that pattern. I thought, that is perfect. I ought to bring my notes up, see if there's anything I'm missing, because I know there is. Okay, back to my notes. Blip, blip, blip. Okay, so wow, what a week, huh? It's a good week. Trying to think. I've shown you everything. What else do I have to talk about? Well, don't forget, if you're going to shop through KnitPicks, since I'm an affiliate with them, if you go down to the link on my show notes, it doesn't work on YouTube. I've never learned how to put links on YouTube. But in Ravelry, WordPress, and Blogger, if you go down to fun stuff, there's always a link to KnitPicks. And if you go through that, I can get a couple pennies. And it doesn't cost you any more. It's just something I could put towards prizes then. Let's see, I talked about Skyping with my grandbabies. Oh, I ought to tell you. So my resolutions, socks, I haven't done any more for the soup kitchen. Chemo caps, I did 33. Now next year, I lowered my resolutions to 20 chemo caps and 12 pair of socks for the soup kitchen. If I do more, yay, hallelujah. But this way, I'm not so stressed or feel disappointed in myself for not meeting my chemo cap quota. And let's see, what else? Sorry, I just have to skim through my notes. Oh, my book reviews. I'm just going to tell you what I've reviewed this past week. If you're interested in reading the reviews, just go down to the link where it says book reviews. Click on that and it'll take you to my page. And I did Renovating the Richardsons. Now, I didn't read all these this week. I'm still catching up on some book reviews. So Renovating the Richardsons, The Christmas Town, Stories for the 12 Days of Christmas, and The Made from Scratch Life. That one, it took me a little bit longer. And what have I been watching? Let me tell you. I still love the same Vlogmases. I'm so glad I didn't do one. I wouldn't have needed the extra stress, really. But I watched Skandier Knits, Geeky Girls Knit, Corner of Craft, The Knitting Expat. And like I said, on Instagram, I've been keeping up with Katie on Inside Number 23 because she has a baby. I can't see my grandbabies aren't babies anymore. But you know, hey. Okay. Oh, this is running kind of long. But I'm just going to show you this one. This is what my kids got me. I'll review it another day. Soap making the natural way. And like I said, it's using glycerin soap, melt and pour recipes, and they use herbs, flowers, and essential oils. So yes, I'm excited about that. I'll have to practice before they get here. I want to show you what my son and daughter-in-law gave us. I am so tickled. We ordered some pictures from the wedding, but I don't think we ordered any of those. Now the gentleman is my son, Ian, and the lovely lady in the bride's dress is Rachel. And here, is my family, including Tobias and Genevieve are kind of looking away. And, oh, yes, this one is Randy's dad and us and the bride and groom. And then my son and I. You may recognize the shawl. That's a shawl that I made. I love this. Then from Dover Press, I received 2 books. One, I don't know what I'm going to do with it because it's more, there's more needed for it than I really want in it. Some of you know quilling, which is basically paper curling. Well, this is called Thrilling Quilling, the Ultimate Quiller Source Book. And yes, it tells you everything you need to know about quilling. I was looking through, but what overwhelmed me? Yes, if I was younger, I would look into this. But they talk about the papers, where you get them, how you store them. Yes, you can get them pre-cut or you can cut your own. Then they talk about equipment, and I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness. I had scissors, but I guess I have the bulldog clips. But if you need the other things, I'm in trouble. Then further tools and materials. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with this book. If I save up a little money, I may put it in a giveaway because I have to be prepared to pay a lot of shipping. But then they go into basic techniques. And that's what I mean. The pictures and the captions explain it very, very well. And they talk about different coils. And then, of course, the things we're interested in, the projects. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they also talk about how to protect and preserve your quilling. But look at those projects you can do. I'm flabbergasted. So many wonderful things. But I just, for one thing, my little hands aren't going to be able to handle that anymore. Not when arthritis wants to come visit and to hang around. He seems to really want to come and hang around every winter. So, but then, so they always tell you, give you 3 or 4 books that are available, and you can put down which ones you're interested in. Well, they don't usually have knitting. They have crochet sometimes, but they don't usually have knitting. Well, I put down that I would review any of the 4 books they offered, but they sent me the quilling, which I'm fine with. But then they also sent me adorable baby knits. And look at that face. Wow, you want to see it. Look at those cute faces. But I will share a little bit of this with you. I may not share every pattern, but I will share some of it. And I'm not going to make everything in here, but they show you a baby banner. Isn't that cute? And they tell you how much yarn you need, what kind they suggest, knitting needles, and extra things you might need. And then they give you the graph for it, and I just think that's adorable. Then they have several different baby booties. Some very, very, well, all of them seem very simple, very easy to do. I love this face. A rainbow hat. Look at that fella's face. Or girl's face. I really don't know. They didn't tell us. I said I'm not going to show you everyone, but I like it for the babies too. Look at that cute hat. The flower picot hat. It's made from DK yarn. Oh, my granddaughter, she would have loved this. I made her a frilly sun hat, but it wasn't as frilly as this. I was, it's so funny because I was looking at that thinking, oh, I wish they had it in her size. And I'm wondering if I can't figure out how to make it her size. I don't know if she would still wear it. She wears hats, though, so I don't know. Then they have a little teddy bear blanket, a blanket with a teddy bear figure on the top. It's adorable. A couple Afghans. Let me skip a couple. Oh, I love this sweater. I love this face. My grandson won't fit in that sweater, though. But I'm thinking, you know what? According to my son and daughter-in-law, those aren't going to be the only grandchildren we ever have. So, and I had to keep this book because I always called my husband the city shepherd because he used to, his mom and dad had a couple acres and they used to raise a couple sheep. Then he moved to Purdue, and you may have heard this story before, but I'm sorry, I have to repeat it. And he moved into a barn. It was actually a condemned barn, or at least the apartment was, side of it was. And it had 2 rooms, bedroom and study area. And then the other side was the shower and the kitchen. So you could, start your eggs on the oven, take your shower, and flip your eggs from the shower whenever you needed to. Anyways, in the barn he had 300 ewes, and so I always talk about his harem of 300 women before we were married. But you can tell where this is going. Look at that, and look at that face. I'm looking at the ones that really struck me and that I really want to make. I think both the baby and that sweater is cute too. The swing cardigan. I like swing cardigans. I didn't think I ever would, but I do. They have one that has a nautical theme on it, a couple other cardigans. It's just filled with wonderful, wonderful, wonderful patterns. Sorry, I get a little crazy when it comes to pattern books. But this is $20, 1995. I know you can get it at Amazon. You probably get it at Barnes & Noble too, but I can't guarantee the price. But look at that. Oh, I didn't tell you Thrilling Quilling is... Oh, it's also 1995. I figured it would be more because it is a hefty book. Anyways, I think that is it. I was going to share, I know last year I shared with you how I have a son that's in heaven. And so every year from a World Wildlife Fund, I buy a stuffed animal. I've been doing this for, I have 4 of them, so the last 4 years, because I could never figure out what to get him that would remind me of my little Lee, who would be in his 30s now. So I don't have it with me, but I got a polar bear this year. So I'm so tickled. I haven't named him yet. I was going to let my granddaughter do it, but she hasn't come up with a name yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Whew. I think that's it. Wow, what a nice visit. Did you finish your cup of tea? How about the project you were knitting on? I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful week this week, and I hope you have successful times with whatever your project is, even your woodworking, Rick. I hope you don't make any mistakes, but if you do, I hope they are small and easy to fix, unlike my dyeing job. I love each and every one of you. Big, big hugs, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.